Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel. So today's video, we're going to talk about climate activists. They are becoming a huge problem. I mean, listen, they've been a problem for a long time. I know that we had climate change activists or environmental activists, chaining themselves to trees and shit like that. That was like in the 70s, I guess, or the 80s. Listen, they went to certain sites and they interrupted that site. They weren't interrupting the everyday life of people. They were interrupting the operations of whatever was going on, whatever part of the world or whatever force they were in. That was fine. And it got media coverage, and people were like, you know what, they're right. Like the Brazilian rainforest. Don't know why we're still cutting that shit down. That should have came to the media whole. But that shows you where the Brazilian government lies. They don't lie with the people. They lie with the pockets. Money in their pockets, right? But anyway, climate change activists are becoming increasingly stupid. Because now they're letting their emotions... Listen, they've always been emotional people. They're like fucking giant babies. But nonetheless, they're letting their emotions dictate to them how they're going to behave. And they behave like children, right? So we're seeing them blocking highways, roadways, and streets and things of that nature, right? We have them doing this all over the world. Not just here in the United States. They're doing it in France, Germany, and England, right? They're doing it everywhere. Except for countries where you can't protest and riot, right? Like Russia and China. Though, the Chinese, which I'll do a video on, congratulations to the people of China for standing up for your fucking self and saying enough's enough. They are fucking going at it with the government, and that's what we'd like to see. We'd like to see people standing up for themselves in a case like that, or a situation like that. Like the Iranian people standing up for the Iranian woman. That's some shit we like to see. We like to see people going to war with their government. If this starts a civil war in those countries, so fucking be it. They're standing up for themselves. Now, should we do the same? We're heading in that direction. I think we should have done it a while ago to set precedents. But nonetheless, I think we'll get there eventually. But with climate change activists doing what they're doing, they're just being a nuisance at this point. When you block traffic during rush hour so people can't get to work, all you're doing is creating more enemies. You're not having people like myself go, you know what, man? I'll agree with you on this because that makes sense. No, now you pissed the people off who you were trying to get on your side. Because as soon as you make them late for work, they want to fucking kill you. They want to run you over. How many of us have been late to work in our cars, punching the steering wheel, fucking us, motherfuckering ourselves because I should have got up early, I shouldn't have had this, right? And now you got this asshole or assholes sitting in the roadway blocking shit, screaming, save the world, or whatever fucking bullshit they scream and chant. They're becoming an issue. Then you have those guys who are sitting there and gluing themselves to paintings, or at the very least, the plexiglass over the paintings at museums. Just creating a shitty environment for those who went to the museum to go see the Mona Lisa, for example, or to go see a Picasso. People just want to go and see these things. They don't want to be bothered by you gluing your hand to a fucking a plexiglass. Now, a lot of the art is protective. Not all of the art is protected. And I think a lot of it is going under the protection now, being that they're watching a lot of these climate activists become dicks. So, there's going to be a point, guys, where their dickery is going to switch over to violence. I'm just waiting for that moment, that first opportunity they actually switch over to violence. Now, climate change activists, guys, again, they're under the false pretenses of we can save this planet. I think personally, this planet is just doing its natural changing thing. I don't think it's so much us rushing the climate change. I think the planet is doing its own thing. Yes, is the carbon emissions higher? Probably, but carbon emissions were way higher back in the dinosaur ages when you had nothing but volcanoes going off into the atmosphere. So I think the Earth is doing its own thing. Not the point. The point is, guys, is that we have to deal with fucking children being children and disrupting our daily lives so that they can get their message across, which in turn doesn't get across because nobody wants to hear it once they fuck themselves or fuck us for being late to work or enjoying an experience at the museum. Now, there were, again, climate change activists claiming this was for climate change protesting, couple of women, I think it was a guy, they were at some store pouring milk on the ground. They were opening the milk because it comes from cows, because apparently cows are destroying the environment. They went to the supermarket and started pouring milk on the floor. I think this is in England or the UK somewhere. They're pouring milk on the floor. The crazy shit is people are just standing there watching them. The store clerks are standing there watching them. I'm like, yo, take the milk and throw it in their face. You know, fucking milk doesn't burn when it hits you in the eyes, but it'll blind you nicely. Fucking throw the milk in their face and then get them the fuck out of there. They were just pouring gallons of milk on the floor. Now, yes, I know. As an adult, we shouldn't be drinking that shit anyway. We shouldn't be drinking cow milk anyway. We should be drinking like goat milk and almond milk and all that, you know, gay bullshit. But nonetheless, if you still like milk and you can still tolerate it, great. But the fact that they're wasting food that people can be eating essentially because cows are the cause of climate change, or part of the cause of climate change, this is bullshit. It's bullshit that people are just standing there doing nothing. Now, here's the more... Because if you do this to my car and I catch you doing this to my car, you're getting the beating of your life. That's a promise. But watching climate activists, it was here in New York. I think it was here in New York. They were slashing SUV tires. I'm like, bad enough I live in New York City. That's one. Bad enough I have to worry about some asshole jacking me for my shit or breaking in my car and stealing some shit out of it. Now I got to worry about a bunch of fucking white folks running around slashing SUV tires. Like, either of the three is catching a bad one, and they're going to have a bad day if they fucking do anything to the truck. But slash all 4 of my tires, someone's going to fucking prison. And it's probably going to be me. Because if you fucking... Tires are expensive, as we have seen. And that's not even the point. The point is that I'm minding my business. And I'm like, my car's parked in the street. And I'm like going through my day. And this asshole goes, oh my God, look at that SUV. Let's fuck it. And I had nothing to do with what you're fucking complaining about. And the fact that you're going to sit there and blame me driving the SUV around for part of the climate, for climate change as well. So guys, it's cows, it's the SUVs, it's humans. What is it going to be? So you're going to start killing humans next? Because we eat the cows and drive the SUVs? Like, you see where I'm going with this? Like, their propensity for violence is increasing. Because now they're slashing personal fucking property. Granted, milk, painting, that's corporate property, if you will. It's not like personal property. But once you start affecting personal property, once you start damaging personal property, you've crossed a line. And you've crossed a line that you cannot come back with some people. Because I'd be damned, in certain states, man, you slash somebody's tires, holy shit, you ain't making out of that situation in one piece. So, again, guys, they are increasingly becoming a problem because they're now starting to dive into personal property. It's one thing, again, to keep it corporate, whatever. I still have an issue with that. But personal property, you're going to get a fucking beating. That's as simple as that. Now, what do we do about it? That's the bigger question. Now, in France, they were blocking the road. I think it was France, and maybe it was England, but whatever. It was some fucking big white dude gets out of his car. He starts dragging the climate activist across the road. He's like, fucking out of here, you out of here. He's dragging them like they're nothing, too, by the way. He's a big guy. So he's just dragging them out of the way, and he's telling cars to drive through. Crazily enough, they just laid there. They didn't move after he threw them over to the side. It was fucking weird. But still, now we have to go hands-on. This is the kind of things that we need to start doing because the cops are not going to do anything because the ideology for a lot of places in the city is that you should be able to protest. And yes, you should be able to protest. But when you start fucking people, it becomes a problem. When BLM was on the fucking highways and shit like that, yo, have at it. There's a fucking pedal on the right. It's called the gas pedal. Whatever the fuck, man. But people need to stop being a pain in the ass to other people. Now, if you want to create some kind of disruption where it's not affecting people, but it's affecting a corporation, so fucking be it. But when you start affecting people and their shit, your cause goes right out of the fucking window. When you chain yourself to a tree, people go, man, we'll listen to that. When you do starvation diets, people will go, oh man, that guy's starving to death because he doesn't like fucking climate change. We should listen. But when you start slashing tires and making people late to work, you just lost your fucking message. Your message went out of the window. Anyway, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.